Hi there. Today we are trying to explain the concept of teachability. It is a characteristic of an item which is related to how easy or difficult it is to teach the item itself. Let's give an example. For me, as a teacher, it's easier to teach simple present because as I present the structure, the tense, to my students, I provide the information they need. I do not depend on previous knowledge. On the other hand, if I try to teach my students present perfect, I must be aware of their previous knowledge about the past participle forms of the verb, for example. If my students are not very familiar with the past participle forms of the verbs, will be having some trouble. The teachability is not the same as learnability. For example, I can explain my students the schwa, the phoneme schwa. It is very clear that I am the model of the pronunciation, so I emphasize my pronunciation. But when I am talking about another structure, grammar structure, and I am not referring to the pronunciation, I do not pronounce the schwa in a native speaker like way. So I can teach the pronunciation, but I never learn it as well as I wish. Okay? So it is not the same teachability as learnability. That's very important. There are some other features, some other concepts which are very important for this concept, and we'll be dealing with them with the help of some slices. Okay, let's read this more accurate definition. Teachability of an item. How easy it is for the teacher to present the form and meaning of an item. An item's teachability is dependent on the individual teacher and the context and method of instruction. It is a characteristic of the item, but depends on the teacher if it is easy or difficult for him to teach that item. It also depends on the context and method of instruction. If I can translate as I am teaching, it might be easier for me. Despite teachability and learnability are not the same, we can say that they both depend on the number of interdependent elements in a structure, the number of operations to realize, and if the structure is structurally complex. However, we cannot oversimplify the view of difficulty. The more simple is not necessarily the more teachable, and not always the more similar an item is to the mother tongue equivalent, the more teachable will be.